It's so dry. It's been days without Apple News. I need something, some water. Oh, the things I do for you guys. What's going on, geeks? Is Apple having an identity crisis? That's what we're going to discuss, as you know that I'm an Apple fanboy, but some things are changing and I'm not sure how I feel about it. So before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss as we cover your favorite tech and video games. Oh man, there's just so much water. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Grant Geek Show. Okay, so do you remember this? Huh? How about this? How about this? Need I go on? How about this? Now, how did those clips make you feel? Can you remember back to what Apple was like when these devices, these products were announced and these kind of commercials, these ads were run? There was a different kind of vibe that Apple had that I think they're losing. And I'm not putting this blame on any particular person. So it's not Tim Cook's fault. He's doing everything that he was brought on to do, and then some. Fantastic CEO. And no, I'm not showing these products to say, oh, you know, Apple needs to make more revolutionary products, although they do have the money to definitely try out some more things. I'm talking about the vibe and personality, that rebel kind of aspect of Apple that it seems to no longer have, or at least it's kind of putting that to the side. If you guys remember, their motto was think different. That kind of talk is seen rarely, if ever, now at Apple, and I think it's because their philosophy has changed. I remember when I was younger, I was born in 97, so when the first iPod came out, I was only 4 years old, but I had actually been an Apple fan even before that. I was like 2 or 3 when I first got obsessed with Apple, getting hand-me-down computers and stuff like that. But when I would watch an Apple event, it was one of the most exciting events for a geek that there could be. And it still is today, don't get me wrong. In fact, they're crushing numbers in terms of viewership. But there was a different kind of vibe. It felt like Christmas morning. You thought that Apple, every time Steve Jobs stood on that stage, that the world was going to change. He was going to change the world with something that Apple had been working on, something that they were going to release. Let's take the iPod, for example. Now, no, they didn't invent storing files on a device, right? So Apple wasn't inventing something new, but it was the first time that it was put together in such a concise and aesthetically pleasing commercial device for the masses. Take the iPhone, for example. The iPhone, people forget, the iPhone killed the BlackBerry. It destroyed kind of the flip phone industry, the PDA industry, you name it, calculator, pocket camera, like all these different industries, the iPhone destroyed, and they just pulled the trigger on it. Now, no, Apple wasn't even the first to invent the smartphone, but again, they were the first to be so bold as to believe in something, put it out there in front of the masses, combine all these technologies into one aesthetically pleasing commercial device, and take the chance on it. Now, it doesn't take a super sleuth to realize that that trend has slowed down in terms of Apple kind of innovating, creating brand new products that nobody even knew they wanted. You know, and I used to blame that entirely on the fact that, look, you know, the smartphone market is saturated. All these devices, we kind of have all the devices we need, you know, watch, tablet, phone, computer. And there's just not room to innovate. I mean, Apple is valued at trillions of dollars now, and they've got so much money to spend on R&D. It really must just be because there's nothing to do. Well, of course, that wasn't the case, and I was probably really silly for even thinking that. It really seems to be that Apple no longer has the desire to innovate until they absolutely have to. And this is just business savvy, the kind of savvy that comes along with somebody like Tim Cook, knowing, look, you know, let's milk this product for revenue as long as we can. Why make something else obsolete? I talk all the time about how the iPad Pro is just waiting in the wings. It's ready to make almost any device obsolete at any given moment. Given the right software, this thing is a beast, able to not only act as a tablet, but potentially replace a laptop or even a desktop, depending on what kind of M-series chips they can put in it. And obviously, it can do all the things that your smartphone can. So, but Apple has been sitting on this since, well, really 2018. I'm not sure if this was the vision back in maybe even as early as 2017 when they started introducing the 120 hertz refresh display and really separating the iPad from every other iOS device in terms of sheer power, function, and features, and even form. I mean, this thing is insane. But Apple's not really hurting in sales in really any product category right now, so there's no need to push out some new iconic revolutionary device such as Apple glasses. I mean, they're sitting on a revolutionary device right now. I am an Apple fanboy. I always have been, and I likely always will be. I love the ecosystem that Apple creates, the beauty of their designs and attention to detail and aesthetics, and how everything just works so seamlessly. I love the software that's optimized, and the App Store is insane in terms of software and really pushing the Mac, especially for creators, in terms of what it can do. And even when I criticize Apple, it's kind of a backhanded compliment, because look at all my videos. What do I traditionally compare Apple to? Apple. I compare them to themselves back in the past. I feel like that was a golden age of innovation for Apple. And the further they get away from that, as they get more commercial, luxury brand and type stuff like that, it pulls away from what made me personally fall in love with Apple and what really changed the world. Continuing on in this luxury brand kind of aesthetic will not change the world. It will make Apple trillions of dollars, but it's not going to revolutionize a la the iPod, iPhone, even the iPad and even Apple Watch, and that's kind of a little bit more recent, so maybe you could say they're kind of innovating in that way. I want to be as fair as possible, but while the Apple Watch is an innovative product, I don't think that Apple's philosophy is innovate at all costs at this point. And we've kind of seen Samsung actually take on that role where they're throwing out all these different products that people may not want or whatever, but they're using all that cash. They're doing something with it. They're doing R&D. They're putting out products and seeing what hits. It's kind of a method of throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Now, I don't think Apple should do that. That's never been who they were. They put a lot of time and attention into every product that they release. So when they put something out, they truly believe in it. And they're not just looking to see what sticks to the wall. But at the same time, this seems to potentially be hurting them at this point and in the long run, because instead of being the first to unveil a perfect, well-engineered, hundreds of billions of dollars into R&D foldable smartphone or smartwatch with the screen size the size of your iPhone or Apple glasses, instead of being the first to kind of get there like they were with the iPhone, nobody delivered on what a smartphone could be like Apple did in 2007. Yes, there were other smartphones, but you're really fooling yourself if you think that iPhone did not change everything about what we thought a mobile device could be. But now they seem to just be a wait and see type of company where they wait for Samsung to try or somebody else to try, and then they'll take the best of that and put out a product that they're comfortable would sell a lot of units because there's desire for it and people would want the Apple version of whatever that tech was. But Apple has more than enough cash to literally, they could start their whole company over again. And they seem to take more risks when they had less money. Now that they have even more money than pretty much any other company in the world, they don't want to take those risks. So as an Apple fanboy, I'm more conflicted now than I've ever been, as I am absolutely in love and loving what Apple's doing with hardware recently, with M1 and putting it in the iPad and crazy form factors, edge-to-edge displays and 120 hertz refresh rates and Touch ID. Like, hardware-wise, Apple is untouchable to me. And the way that it all works, the way that it all even aesthetically looks like it's using the same design language from the AirPods to the new iMac to the iPhone, etc. Which really, that whole design language did start with the iPad Pro, just gonna say, in 2018. But on the software side, Apple is probably one of the most boring companies right now. I mean, you look at iOS 15, which I've been using on my iPad Pro for a while. I'm going to do a review on it. I'm trying to put stuff together that would actually be interesting to see, and there's not, honestly, in my opinion, there's not a lot to see with iOS 15. There are tweaks, but it's basically the same stuff repackaged in a nutshell. So if you wanted a preview of that video, that's what it's going to be. And it does hurt to say these things as an Apple fanboy, but on the software side, not only iOS, but macOS is just not pushing the boundaries. It's not like, give us something fresh, give us something amazing. I had actually talked about iOS in particular. We're about the same amount of time removed from our first major overhaul of the iOS operating system look and feel, the UI, as we were the first time around with the iOS 7 fresh, flat, kind of pastel look that we got. It had been 7 years. We got that in 2014. We're now in 2021. So it's time. It's time for an overhauled look. It's not time for just tweaks and features added. We want something new. And the excuses go out the window because Apple has the money. And then you have a lot of, commentators, YouTubers, personalities and stuff like that acting like this isn't going on. Like, they're just like, yep, Apple's doing great. Yep, Apple, they're making those sales. Yep, they're putting out products, yeah, this is really fantastic. Like, were you around? These people were around when Apple was a completely different monster, ready to shake up the industry at any moment and deliver these devices that you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to change the world. This is going to bring power to the people. They were like a power to the people type company, giving people, creative power that they had never had before. You think of companies like that, you think of like Blackmagic that makes their cinema cameras, bringing down this amazing technology that we had only seen in, cinema cameras down to the masses. You look at their Blackmagic cinema camera, which I think at the time that it came out was $6,000. Usually, you look at cameras like MKBHD uses the red cameras, and you even go up to, nobody's using ARRI really, but you go up to those big cameras, they're costing over $30,000 easy. And here in a $6,000 package is a camera that looks so amazing that it was used to film some B shots in the Avengers movie in 2012. And you could get that into your hands for $6,000. That's the kind of innovation that Apple used to be able to do, and they still can do it. But again, their philosophy is no longer to think differently. They want to think just a little too smart. They have the money to take some risks. So I would hope that they do this. And guys, if you agree, if you think this is the direction that Apple should be heading in, you know what to do. Hit the like button, guys, and subscribe so we can grow this community. Click the bell so you get a notification on your phone when I drop new videos. I like to, have discussions with you guys and talk a little bit about the philosophy of these companies and what could actually happen to push technology forward as a whole, not just with Apple. This is hard for me to say, but when you look at Apple and Samsung, if neither of these companies are just going to, put the money into something they believe in, well-researched, well-developed, and release it and take a chance on it, I would prefer the Samsung approach to just throw everything at the wall, because this trickle, wait to see what's already a hit and then stick an Apple logo on our version of it, I don't like it. It's not a good vibe, and I don't think it holds true to the kind of innovative, passionate leader that Steve was with Apple. And he wasn't perfect, don't get me wrong. But I feel like Apple was just a very different company. With that being said, guys, let me know what you thought of the video down in the comment section below. To do all the YouTube stuff to keep up to date with the videos as I keep dropping them. We got keyboard cases coming. We got a whole bunch of tech coming for the iPad Pro as well as for the Mac Mini. So we're gonna have some fun tech reviews. I know it's been super dry. Let me know if you like that intro as well. Also, guys, AirPods 2. We got a brand new pair of AirPods 2 sealed that we'll be giving away at 10,000 subscribers. So if you want a chance to get your hands on these, subscribe to our channel as well as our second channel, WeSibs. Okay, that's going to give you 2 entries to win. Also, look through my other videos. There might be some other ways that you can get additional entries to win Apple AirPods 2, as well as invite your friends to subscribe, because again, the faster that we get to that 10,000 subscriber mark, the sooner these will be going out. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granite Geek Show.